Okay, well, it's great to see a lot of familiar faces in the virtual room. So I am Dr. Wil Srubar. As was previously mentioned, I'm an associate professor at the University of Colorado Boulder. I'm also a co-founder of Aureus Earth. My presentation, we teed this up really nicely because you've heard what are carbon offsets. What kind of buyers are looking for in terms of all of the different characteristics that make a good quality carbon offset. You might be thinking, well, I see a range of projects that could be used for carbon offsetting, like forestry, renewable energy, methane capture, et cetera. And up until this point in time, we have not yet seen buildings be part of that carbon offsetting projects. So Aureus Earth was founded really to help the construction industry architect new carbon offset protocols for low carbon building. We know we are all making great design decisions. We can actually quantify the carbon reduction, the carbon storage, monetize that, and financially offset some of the green premium associated with some more expensive low carbon building materials like mass timber. So Aureus Earth was founded about 2 years ago. We're a startup. We're very much building a lot of momentum. And so I'm here today to discuss a little bit about Aureus Earth and where we are and where we're going next. So I am just a mouthpiece. I'm part of a founding leadership team, Dr. Michelle Grieshaber, Adam Oren, Sal Barnes. We're a team comprised of economists and scientists with expertise that spans engineering, low carbon construction, economics, public policy, et cetera. And you need all of this to do really what we set out to do. We use the same motivation that everyone uses on this call. I'm sure that we know that we're going to be building a lot of new buildings in the future. We're going to double our building stock, and we really do believe that this momentum, if it continues, it will do more harm than good. But we really do believe that the future building stock can be used as a vehicle for carbon reduction and long-term carbon storage. And there's a huge opportunity there in terms of being able to monetize those design decisions, so long as they meet all of the requirements that Pat laid out in the previous conversation. So really, there are two strategies to curb embodied carbon emissions in buildings. We know this. We can either reduce emissions, or we can incentivize biogenic and mineralized carbon storage in the building. The question for Aureus Earth really was, okay, how do we actually financially incentivize reduction and storage? And we believe that economic tools, up until this point in time, we've had things like the LEED, green building rating system. We've had things like ILFI's low carbon building standard. Just these programs where owners have to pay to get a certification of their building. And we thought to ourselves, that's not a very effective strategy because we're in a commodity market, and we are also thinking that owners having to pay for this isn't really doing much to move the needle. So we flipped the model on its head, and we said, actually, owners can get paid, developers can get paid for low carbon and carbon storing materials decisions early in the design process. And that's where we hyper-focused on the issuance and sale of carbon offsets. So we're creating this market-based incentive that pairs sustainable construction projects. All of you are likely working on a number of projects right now. Many of you are at that critical decision-making point with the client. Do we build with steel, with concrete, or mass timber? That is the absolute right time to affect change. And we've created this market-based incentive to incentivize those decisions. So we're really predicated on the fact that we can eliminate the green premium or help address the green premium that exists between low carbon materials like mass timber versus concrete or steel. So what have we achieved so far as a company? We spent the first year really developing the concept. That really led to building a very strong network of architects, engineers, industry trade organizations, and other industry organizations that really helped us vet the concept. We refined the concept and the methodology, and we really codified the thesis. I'd say this was more codifying the thesis and the concept of using buildings as a vehicle for carbon offsetting. After we released the white paper, we assembled a carbon working group that worked over the last 9 months that really took the elements of the white paper, the methodology, and really put pen to paper and helped us to define the very first carbon offset protocol for mass timber building. So we've codified, we even socialized it to a larger network of folks. And we're now in the soft launch stage of this protocol. And I want to reinforce that we've addressed everything that that Pat mentioned that is really important to buyers to make this very attractive to purchasers of carbon offsets. So the fact that the reductions and the storage that we incentivize are real, that it is additional. So in terms of not only financial additionality, but also technical and legal additionality, that it's permanent, that it's verified, that it's conservative in its calculations, transparent. What's great about buildings is that we have a very transparent document process already in terms of building permits. You can actually go see and touch the building, which is outstanding. There's satellite imagery and building permits to assure that the building remains unaltered and that it can be monitored. There is an assurance pool strategy that we also have to ensure that if something does happen to the building, or if there's what is called a carbon leakage event, that we can shore up those carbon offsets for the purchaser whose carbon had been quote unquote leaked prior to the end of the assurance period. We are currently piloting, and sorry, I can't really say much more about this, but we are currently piloting this protocol with a proof of concept through a proof of concept pilot in partnership with a major public university. This is fully funded, in which we have a builder, we have a buyer of the carbon offsets, and that transaction should occur in the next couple of months. So the project is slated for completion this summer, and it will be the very first demonstration of using buildings as a vehicle for carbon offsetting. And then, of course, we want to expand the market and scale with some marquee building projects. Just to give you an idea, the pilot project that we're working on right now, it is in the Pacific Northwest. It's a 5-story educational building. It's about 80,000 square feet. The qualified materials through our protocol were cross-laminated timber and glue laminated timber. And through the methodology, again, something that is conservative, based on real science, and permanent, we're estimating around 1,100 carbon offsets that will be generated through this one building alone, which for buyers of carbon offsets is really attractive because of the ability to scale the quantity as well as the quality of the carbon offsets in the building space. This is just a list of projects in our pipeline. In total, we have about 15 projects that are signing on to participate in the program. And we have estimated in upwards of 35,000 carbon offsets, again, ensuring that they are real, that they would not have occurred otherwise without intervention. And this is just really exciting and a good indication of where we're headed with Aureus Earth in partnership with our architect and engineer and owner partners. Mass timber building isn't the only protocol in pilot. We are also piloting a ready mixed concrete protocol as well. Happy to chat a little bit more about that too, but wanted to leave some time for questions. So if you do have questions, please ask them now, or feel free to contact me to learn a bit more about our program at Aureus Earth.